He's an 8-time Louisiana Association of Broadcasters Award winner. And he snapped a ball through his legs.
Wait, why does your name get to go first?
Shut up.
This is Scone T.
Because they made us.
You're definitely not swag.
Shit!
That much is for sure. I've been to A.W. Mumford Stadium. I've been to the Mini Dome. I've been to Lee Hines Field, where they sit on the overpass to watch games.
When?
Throughout my entire life, I've lived in this city. How do you not end up going to a sporting event at Southern? Bro, I used to board op the Jaguar Journal. I board op Southern basketball
exactly.
games.
That's what I'm saying.
When
You
Chris
were in it.
When Chris Powers was the play-by-play man of the Jaguars.
You were in it.
And I was
Hell
board
yeah.
op, and I was looking up SWAC scores in midweek games for basketball back in 2003 before the internet even had SWAC scores for midweek basketball.
What would you do? Moose, can you turn my headphones up a little bit?
Can you turn mine down a little bit?
What would you do?
I'd board
How would you get the scores?
Oddly, CBSSports.com was like the only website.
Okay, so you did have some internet.
That actually, yeah, the internet existed, but it was. There just weren't a lot of people live reporting midweek SWAC basketball scores real time, like in 03, 04. Welcome in, Scone T. That's what happens when Musso turns on the mics when we're in the middle of an off-camera, off-mic conversation because T-Bob walks in 30 seconds before the show starts.
That is true.
That is a fact.
Yeah.
30 seconds before the show starts.
What can I say, dude? Just walk in and turn it on, you know? Just take a shot, drink a cock.
That's what happened. By the way, the cocktail they're making for you.
I don't know what's going on.
Look over there.
I know.
They've been making a cocktail for you for like literally, I'm not even joking. All those guys are making there's 5 bartenders over there.
Yeah.
That are making your drink. They said it's
Moose,
like.
is that camera taped down?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, we need to tilt it up a little bit because half his head is cut
But
off.
I'm saying, we need, if it's not, look, can you, get a shot of those bartenders over there?
Turn it over.
Turn it and get a shot of the bartenders over there. Because it is, what?
And that's just Wiggins.
It's just
Wiggins. Like you got a shot of Wiggins' arm.
Well, whatever. Look, the point is, I've never seen anything like this. It looks like, you know how in an old TV show or cartoon or something. Wow, thank you so much, man. You know how in an old TV show or cartoon or something, you'll see the mad scientist and he's making some sort of concoction and he's hunched over and he needs the beaker and he just needs to get the one drop out because if you go more than one drop, it's going to be fucking catastrophic. That is essentially what is going on with this cocktail right now, and they've been working at it.
What's it?
Pousse Cafe.
He said it's 12 different forms of alcohol that's all layered. They've been making this thing for 20 minutes for you. Seriously, it's taken that. How long have they been working on that? At least 30. They said at least 30 minutes.
At least 30 minutes on a single cocktail. Oh, I see. I guess a picture of it here. That's I don't know. That's
Pousse, P-O-U-S.
P-O-U-S-S-E. Pousse Cafe. Pousse Cafe.
So, the reason, by the way, thank you for joining us. We are at Oliver Twist on Perkins in Baton Rouge near Essen. We're here every Wednesday. Awesome. I mean, more than 1,000 bottles of whiskey. You got craft beer. You got great craft cocktails as well. And they also have wine. So I told Wiggins, of course, we're not here next week. I'll be in Napa. I'll be in St. Helena. Cheers. And you are going where?
I am making the Louisiana pilgrimage. I'm going to Disney.
So Wiggins said, hey, do you want to drink wine tonight? I was like, that would be great. And he said they just, here at Oliver Twist, they just released their updated wine menu, their wine list. And we're drinking Machete. And he was telling me also, by the way, this is in St. Helena, which is where we're going.
Okay, nice.
Which is in Napa.
You've done a couple Napa trips now at this point.
Well, so Erica and I went last year for our 10th wedding anniversary, not specifically to Napa. We were going to do Napa, and then we realized we didn't love wine. So it was do we really want to do a week in Napa? Oh, look at that.
Look at that. Yeah.
And so we ended up doing the whole Bay Area.
Okay, cool.
We did a day just kind of tooling around downtown San Francisco. We did a bay boat cruise. We did a day where we got a driver who kind of curated a trip for us to Napa. So he came, picked us up, drove us to Napa, had our different wineries we stopped at, and drove us back.
Hell yeah.
So we did a lot of different stuff. We had some friends that wanted to go and do a trip in St. Helena, and they asked if we wanted to go, and I was like, well, I'll always go on trips. I love to go on trips. So we're going back. So cheers.
Nice.
So we're drinking machete.
Right. Cheers, machete. This is pretty tasty. I'm not gonna lie. It's I don't look.
So this is Orion Swift, and apparently this is really, really, really hard to get. Not like horribly expensive. I think, how much for the bottle of Orion Swift? $60 for the bottle of Orion Swift Machete, but which is really good and a very, bless you, a very good price. And this is a fantastic wine. Apparently this is really, really hard to find as well. So they have it here at Oliver Twist. You could come hang out.
It's
yes.
I was gonna say it's I guess whatever. I'm not trying to sit here and like judge wine or anything.
Yeah.
I do enjoy, though. I was kind of thirsty coming in here. I was a little cottonmouth, and this is not very dry. I feel like it's actually kind of refreshing feeling from like a hydration standpoint. What I wanted coming in here.
It's a 2016 California Red, which is a very good year. 2016 was a very good year.
I did not know this.
What I did learn, so last year when we were there, is that 2020 was a terrible year, not just because of the pandemic, but they had wildfires. And so it's interesting. So a lot of the crop was destroyed or smoked out.
Yeah.
So it is interesting.
Hell yeah, dude. It's an ancient and beautiful art.
I found it very, very interesting, especially as a guy who knows a lot about whiskey. I found it very interesting to learn a lot about wine.
I have a fantasy about going to like going to Italy and finding like a really old olive oil press or like a really old olive oil building and doing that tour as well. Yeah, these are ancient arts here that connect us to our kind of
Jesus did it pretty easily. He
historical
was just like
roots.
Water. He's like, fill up that bin. Just fill it up. Got it.
Big flex.
That was a big flex.
What if you could just turn anything into like, I don't know, like Camus or Silver Oak or whatever, or like Hope or Prisoner.
Imagine if we are going to Prisoner. Imagine if
you're going to Prisoner. I fucking love Prisoner.
I'll bring you something. Imagine if Jesus like had his own wine label. It was just like God. It's God wine.
No, call it maybe like Sun wine or there's some sort of Trinity wine.
SOM. Son of Man.
Son of Man wine.
Son of Man wine. This is we have deviated.
Sommelier.
See, maybe that's where it comes from.
Well, we deviated because the only story around LSU football are the non-stories.
Who cares about LSU football? We're talking LSU baseball,
I
man.
know, I'm fucking hyped for baseball. We talk about baseball.
We're talking Saints. The purge has begun with the New Orleans Saints as well. They restructured Marcus May. It's coming. Getting rid of all the players.
Are they though? Who are they actually going to have to get rid of? I saw May restructure, but I mean, Andres Pete's going to be gone.
I think Pete will be gone. Michael Thomas will be gone.
Yep. But I've had Michael Thomas gone in my head since they redid the deal a few weeks ago.
Yep. Jameis Winston will be gone.
Yep. Already had that.
I don't think they'll re-sign Marcus Davenport.
No. I wouldn't think so. I mean, unless he's like, hey, I'll come play for nothing.
Well, I'm curious what the market bears for Davenport. You know what's crazy? You ever go on to Spotrac and look at like the market value for these guys?
I did it for Derek Carr. I did not do it for Marcus Davenport. So you say Spotrac, I say Spotrac.
Oh, I thought it was Spotrac.
I have no fucking clue what it is. I just think that's one of those funny. It's just funny to me because like when you both read stuff and your headcanon reads it differently than the other person.
So okay. That's over the cap. That's not what I wanted. Oh, gosh darn it.
But I know that Derek Carr has like a $37 million valuation.
Yeah.
On Spotrac.
Spotrac. So Davenport's market value. Check it out. Did you see it?
I did see it.
What do you like? $23 million per year, bro. They're saying, no, look at the contract. They're suggesting a 4-year, $93 million contract for Marcus Davenport. He had 1/2 of one sack this year. A half of a sack. How in the fuck can you pay Marcus Davenport $93 million? That is lunacy. There is no way. I would disown the New Orleans Saints. I would never cheer for that organization
again
if they gave this man $93 million.
No, the Saints aren't going to, but... So doesn't this kind of speak to why the Saints gave up a first-round pick for him in the first place, though?
Yes.
If this number ends up being accurate, then all this number is telling you is that the upside is so drastic that like if that some team is going to be willing to gamble on that when it hits the open market because those guys just don't come available that often. You know what I'm saying? No. Trust me when I say. Like, when I say those guys don't come available that often, I'm putting myself in the headspace of the team that will eventually sign him, right? And you're going to ignore all the injuries. You're going to ignore this last year. You're going to say, oh, well, that was the Saints fucking up. They had no Sean Payton. Did it like, well, the Saints suck. We could get the most out of this guy. Look at what this guy did the year before when he had, 9.5 sacks in, 12 games. Or, the year before that when he had, incredible pressure rates, even if he wasn't always closing out. Mark Zambort's been productive until this year when he played, and he remains a physical freak. And that's going to
can't do it.
I still find it hard to believe.
Can't do it.
That he would get that, but I'm going to be very intrigued to see this summer how accurate some of these Spirac kind of estimations end up being, because I'm also fascinated to see what does Derek Carr's price end up really being.
Yeah.
And will he hit that $37 million? It feels so high, but a lot of smart people tell me that's what it is.
But I also think it depends on what the market is for him.
Robbie Ashford.
So if I asked you, okay, where does Derek Carr rank right now among quarterbacks in the NFL? What would you say? Like, where would
are we going off? Are we going off of last year's stats?
No, not even stats. Just if you were ranking quarterbacks in the NFL today, how far would you get before
somewhere
you got
12 to 15?
Okay, I'm with you. I'm totally with you on that. Maybe I've said 10 to 15, somewhere in that range. So that's fine.
Yeah.
So let's look at who. So Jared Goff is the 10th highest paid quarterback in the NFL right now at $33.5 million. Jameis is 15 at $14 million. If you split the difference, Matt Ryan's at 12 at $30 million, and Ryan Tannehill's at $29.5. I mean, if you're a top dozen starter quarterback in the NFL, you're getting $30 million a year. But I just don't think Derek Carr is that anymore, and I don't think there's going to be a market for him. And here's why. Who are the quarterback needy teams this year?
It's okay. Like Carolina, well, they're going to draft.
And
probably,
they're going to draft.
But Carolina needs one. The Jets need a quarterback. They could be interested.
Rodgers, maybe?
The Commanders. Yeah, no, they'll go after Rodgers for sure, right? The Commanders
for
need
sure.
A quarterback. They'd be interested. There's one other team that I had on my list. Who was it?
Well, the Raiders need a quarterback, but they're going to draft one. No. The Colts and the Texans are going to draft quarterbacks. You know what I mean?
Where are the Colts picking?
4th.
Okay, yeah.
And there's a new McShay has a new mock out that has them trading up to number 1 to take Bryce Young.
Oh, wow.
So, Colts, Texans are drafting quarterbacks. Carolina probably drafting a quarterback. So it really narrows the field or the...
I thought there were 4 teams. Who am I missing here? I got to find my notes.
Tennessee?
No, I don't think I had Tennessee on there.
The Raiders, but the Raiders aren't going to sign Tannehill. The Raiders are probably going to draft a quarterback now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're picking 7.
Okay, so I think we're we're getting at it a roundabout way, but I feel like we're saying the same things.
I'm saying there's just not going to be a huge market
it's hard,
for him.
That's what I'm saying. So it's hard to envision a market. Like, he turned down low 30s from the Saints, right?
Oh.
And that's what the reported, offer has been, is that it was in the low 30s when they were in those trade talks.
Well, they were talking about trading, and they would have taken on his contract and restructured it.
Yeah, to low 30s.
But either way, that would have been horrifying to take on that contract.
Well, I know, but whatever. My point is, he didn't want to even do that restructure.
Oh, that's crazy.
So he thinks he's going to get over that. You're saying you don't know if there's enough demand. I feel you that I don't know if there's enough demand either. And so,
Who's gonna pay?
Okay, I had Jets, Panthers, Falcons, Commanders, and Niners. The Niners and Carr seem interesting to me.
Niners, but Niners,
if he really wants to go win, if you want to say fuck it, fuck all y'all, you're all talking shit, I already made good money, and you want to go win, you could really take a lesser deal with the Niners and just go try to win a Super Bowl. I don't think he would. It doesn't seem like he would, but that would be. There has to be some sort of temptation there. He's been a perennial loser, and he can join a situation. Now, granted, you have to beat out Brock Purdy, and maybe he can't do that.
And Trey Lance.
There's
Trey Lance was the starter.
Yeah, no, but there's so much momentum in the Niners camp that Brock Purdy has to be the starter over Trey Lance, and I kind of feel like Trey Lance's days in San Francisco are numbered.
I would say that's most comparable to what happened in Philly with Wentz and Nick Foles. Nick Foles won the Super Bowl, and when Carson Wentz came back, Carson Wentz was the starter. That's
but they'd already paid Wentz, and they thought Wentz was going to play at an MVP level, which Nick Foles was not, right? Trey Lance has proven none of that. And he's not paid.
But they've invested.
No, but those are they invested draft picks, but they still have a great roster. Like I don't buy.
But they got to figure out what they have in Trey Lance, though.
Yeah, I mean, but if Brock Purdy's better, that team is going to want him to start, and like their entire fan base wants Brock Purdy to start.
That's fine, but you've got those two options, both of which are insanely more affordable. And at this point, probably higher ceiling options than Derek Carr.
No, I'm saying I know. Like he's not like they're not going to pay Derek Carr $37 million. What I'm saying is Derek Carr, if he wanted to just win a Super Bowl, what if he went to he told his agent, "Hey, go to the Niners and tell him I'll take Jameis Winston." What was Jameis on this list?
14.
14 million, or like tell him or even fuck that. Tell him he'll take 20 million, 25, or like
I would pay him 25. I would give Derek Carr Jameis's deal. 2 years, 25 million, 28 million, whatever it was. 2 years, 28 million.
If he could, if he could get that,
say if you can get better than that somewhere else, go get it. Good luck. See ya.
So you would have a hard and fast. You wouldn't pay him $30 million if it was the Saints
per year?
Yeah.
Fuck no. I'd cap out at $30 million for 2 years. I'd cap out at $15 million per.
Oh no, I don't think so.
That's what I would do. My problem with the thing, and
I like Cam Jordan, dude. I like Cam Jordan had the full fan take of just like, hey, sign a vet, re-sign Onyemata, drafted an hooker, and then the unrealistic part was drafting
Jalen Carter.
Yeah, go get Jalen Carter as well.
The top 5
but the first three legs,
find a way to do it.
But the first 3 legs are doable. Yeah. Signing Carter, drafting hooker, and re-signing Onyemata. And Cam knows football. Cam knows ball, dude.
I'm good with all that. I think. I'm okay with Derek Carr being the Saints quarterback, and I think Derek Carr probably.
I think if Derek Carr's the quarterback last year, you're 9-8, maybe even 10-7.
Okay, and you win the division and you're bounced in the first round.
Yeah, which is good though. Winning the division is still tight.
I'm with you. I always want to make the playoffs. I'm not saying tank, whatever. But my point is, the point that I made about the Saints with Derek Carr is, Derek Carr, in my opinion, Derek Carr at 32. Is where Andy Dalton was 3 years ago, exactly when Cincinnati.
Maybe so. I mean, he did have a drastic fall this last year. Okay. So this is Le Pouce, and you can see. You can see all the different layers here.
Yeah, you got to describe this for those listening to.
Here, put the light on the other side, so maybe the camera can see.
God, I hope so.
But
that would be awesome.
This is I believe it's 7 layers. How many layers is it? 27 what? Gradients? Okay, 27 ingredients. They've been working on this for the better part of an hour, and if you can see, it's got a rainbow feel to it, as it is a layered cocktail from what I was reading.
Yes, you can definitely see the rainbowish hue.
So, am I going to fuck it up if I pick it up? Okay.
Look at that. It looks like looking through one of the, like a what's the?
You ready?
A kaleidoscope.
The sip you're going to take throughout the rest of the night is going to be totally different.
Okay.
Because of the fact that it's layered.
So it's a layered cocktail, so every sip is going to be different throughout the entire. Wow.
And it's 151 on top.
Wow. Well, he could just light it on fire.
That had to be is that a Wiggins edition?
Wow.
There's 151 stays on top of the Pouce? No way. Okay. I'm impressed.
Okay.
I'm going to continue. I'll report back on what each taste is.
Daniel Blunt, I just went back to the beginning of the comments. He said, "Did y'all make an intro? That's cute, real cute." We've literally had an intro for the entire history of this podcast.
I love Dan. That's my fucking boy.
We've had the intro like literally since the first ever episode.
Yeah, but he's a live homie. He's just coming in and watching live.
But I mean, before we were even doing the show here,
I know.
When we were just doing the football,
it was like the first thing that shout out Jay Parker, my guy. It was like the first thing that he that he made us do.
Yeah, we did that.
Yeah, and then I didn't hear it, though. It's about 100 shows in.
I know.
And didn't realize I get fucking clowned in the intro.
I mean, I will say
that
the intro was my idea and I wrote it. So, remember, I had you record the parts.
Here we go. Exactly.
I mean, of course. Well,
exactly.
That was the whole premise of how the show started. That was the premise of the show.
Bitch.
The premise of the show is we hate each other and all that sort of stuff. The feuding back and forth.
Hash browns are so good, though.
I know. Really good.
Okay, so there's probably enough car talk. Looks like steak.
Oh, it is. Oh, steak and eggs?
I think it's steak and eggs, straight up.
Is that steak and eggs?
That's steak, eggs, and hash brown, yeah.
Oh, y'all.
Okay,
for real with you, dog. The food here.
You got to come. You got to come out here to
Oliver
Oliver Twist, dude. It's so much fun on Wednesdays.
Look at that over-E or sunny
Especially,
side
look,
up,
once baseball
over
season
easy.
starts, maybe we even get
Sunny
a
side
midweek
up.
game every now and then. We're chilling. Speaking of baseball season, I feel like we're probably Carfaxed out for now. Speaking of baseball season, you know what I did for the first time today?
What did you do?
And I know I'm behind the 8 ball here for a lot of people. But I dove into the schedule for the first time today. And woo,
For baseball?
wee.
For baseball?
Yeah. God damn. That thing hits the ground running. I mean, you have your out-of-conference tune-up, right? But, like, and I'm fascinated to see the Texas midweek game. That'll be cool. But when that conference play starts, it don't let up.
You know what's funny is
Well, actually, you know what? Actually, okay, I'll take that back. Even though it's all relative in the SEC, Matt, from a preseason ranking standpoint, LSU actually has a friendly back half. After Ole Miss, it's relatively friendly compared to the murderer's row that you have up front.
And we thought, but you remember last year we thought like, oh, you have some opportunities early, like you play Texas A&M.
Yeah, and so we could be wrong.
And then, and then A&M actually being, ended up good, like you end up losing the series. And so,
Well, now they're picked to finish second in the West.
Right.
Like they picked to finish ahead of Arkansas.
But
and you got to go at A&M week 1.
The flip side of it, though, is A&M's going, fuck, we have to open with LSU.
Oh, no, 100%.
Like, that's, I mean, LSU was a unanimous pick to win the SEC. Well, they weren't unanimous because Jay couldn't vote for his team, but they got 12 votes to win the SEC. I mean, it's
Who did Jay vote for?
I don't know.
Oh, well, I just figured maybe you'd have one other team that got a vote.
Actually, Tennessee, LSU
For sure, Tony Vitello did not vote LSU.
Tennessee did not get a first place vote for the SEC. It was
That's what I'm saying. So we can do the deduction of who Jay voted for. Or at least one of 2 teams if you're telling me the LSU got 12.
Hang on.
Scone T, who do you have winning Daytona this weekend?
I don't even know who the fuck's racing.
Martin Truex.
All right, here you go. Florida got 1. LSU got 11. Florida got 1. Ole Miss got 1. Texas A&M got 1.
Who do you think Jay voted for? Ole Miss or A&M?
Ole Miss.
Yep. I don't know why I said yep.
I just guessed. I really don't know.
Okay, anyway, whatever.
Champs,
LSU, so, like, I get what you're saying. Like, A&M's like, fuck, we got to open with LSU. Yeah. But LSU, let's take out what LSU is. You open with the number 5 team in the nation. Then, and you're out on the road against the number, 5 team in the nation. Then it's at home versus number 8.
Arkansas.
And then at home v. number 2. Those goddamn Tennessee Volunteers. well, you sons of bitches. Look who the cat done drag in. Oh, volunteers.
That backfire?
Emphasis on the tears, as I'm going to be drinking those salty little things for the sustenance to give me life. Because make no mistake, Tennessee, revenge is a dish best served in Baton Rouge. Come Friday, March 30th. In April 1st. You going to be looking like a fool come Sunday.
Saturday.
And not just because it's
a Thursday.
Shit!
Thursday.
You look like a fool come Saturday and not just because it's April Fools. Make no mistake, the content machine will be fully cranked up Tennessee week as we shit all over the Volunteers.
Okay.
Then you have at South Carolina, which is sneaky hard. And then you get a little break with Kentucky again. Everything's relative in the SEC. Then Ole Miss. But then after that, like, Alabama's okay, but you get them at home. You're at Auburn, which I don't know how Auburn's not ranked after making Omaha a couple times. You're versus Mississippi State, which, again, I don't know why Mississippi State's not ranked. This is why I said from a preseason ranking standpoint. And then Georgia. Like, Georgia's nice to end on. Even though who knows what Georgia's going to be at that time with all their new faces.
is going to hit a bajillion home runs against Georgia.
They have like everybody's. From what I read, they have like a whole new team.
With Georgia's field, Foley Field, the right field wall is like 300 feet. I mean, you like a mishit pop up leaves the yard at Foley Field. I mean, there are matchboxes and then there's Foley Field.
Hell yeah!
This team, it's gonna be ridiculous.
We should go. Oh man, I want to go to Athens. I haven't gone to Athens in years. That'd be a great excuse to go to Athens, dude.
May 18th, 19th, 20th.
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
But, I mean, do you agree? Like, I mean, I guess it's kind of impossible to know because, again, A&M, we thought, we're like, if you can't win this, it's going to be a long year. And then A&M ends up being great. So we could be wrong. But, again, at the onset, it looks like, okay, very hard up front, which I love because it forces you to, like, come correct. You can't go half-stepping. You got to be kind of clicking early on. There's pressure applied. And then in the latter half, if you get in the swing of things, you maybe have an opportunity to finish strong and go on a bit of a run if you need to. Though I guess, look, if you're already the number one team in the nation, then, you should win 20 of these 30 anyway.
This is the interesting thing about Arkansas. I don't know if you saw this or if you talked about this, but Jackson Wiggins is done for the year. He tore his UCL. He's out. Jackson Wiggins is their ace. He's their Friday night guy.
Yeah.
He's a projected
I saw a third overall pick right there.
I think that was just for players in Omaha.
Oh, okay.
So I'm trying to find like a perfect game or Baseball America draft ranking, and I'll find where they have Jackson Wiggins. But just understand, that's a huge blow to Arkansas.
Yeah.
I mean, that's their.
You lose your Friday night guy.
They lost their Friday, and it's not
LSU lost what? Was Grant Taylor going to end up doing? Was he going to end up closing?
Yes. So as I understand it, this weekend. So Grant Taylor was going to be the Saturday guy this weekend. Oh, because there was all the articles said in the running for. So here's my understanding of what happened and what they're going to do. So they were going to go Skeens, Taylor, Chase Shores. Chase Shores is a freshman. If you haven't seen him, he's
the giant, right?
He's 6'8" and he throws 100. Yeah. I was told he's hit 100 on the gun 9 times so far in the preseason. So he's a freshman. That's a dude that's going to be a potential 1-1 guy when his year comes, and he's already the Sunday guy. My understanding is Jay doesn't want to put the freshman earlier in the road, so he'll be the Sunday guy.
Which I love. I love a big Sunday advantage. You got a fucking 6'8" dude throwing 100 on Sunday. You shitting me?
Yes.
That's how you win 20+.
So Thatcher Hurd.
Oh yeah, wait. Where does Thatcher Hurd fit in then?
Is going to throw on the midweek.
What?
Because no, hold on. Because in 2 weeks they play on Tuesday at Texas.
Oh, yeah.
After round one.
Yeah.
So they're lining it up for Hurd to pitch against Texas.
Hell yeah,
But
dude.
then Hurd will be your Saturday guy.
And then Grant would have gone to the midweek?
And Grant would have gone to the bullpen.
Oh, okay.
And
to the bullpen.
The objective was for Grant Taylor to be the closer. That's ultimately where they wanted him to be. But he was going to start the season in the rotation. Now, what I was told, Jay meets with the media on Thursday, so I'm curious if he confirms this. I'm told now with Grant Taylor out that Riley Cooper is going to start Game 2 this weekend. So your bad bodyguard, I think, gets the ball on.
I literally
on Game 2.
I had a perfect moment on yesterday's show where we were playing love songs, come back in from the breaks, and I can't remember. It might have been Wonderwall was playing. And it was at the same time that a Riley Cooper highlight montage came across my Twitter feed. And it was just it was all the elements of my life were intertwining where it all became a movie. And it was I said maybe. And Riley Cooper was whack, just fucking striking out dudes. And then I read that in the scrimmage last week, on either Friday or Saturday, I can't remember when he threw, that he had, it was what was it? I think it was maybe 4 innings pitched, no hits, maybe even 5, but no hits, no runs, 5 Ks. Yeah, the back body god's ready to roll, dude.
The offense had a rough go in the scrimmage last weekend against.
That's what Jay told us on the show the other day, is that the pitchers have been kicking their ass.
Yeah. LSU has good arms. Really good arms. A lot of them, too. So I think the first couple of weekends you'll see LSU go.
This drink's crazy, by the way.
Go Skeens, Cooper, Shores, Hurd on Tuesday, and then after they play Texas and they get to conference play, you'll see Hurd go to the number 2 spot. By the way, Musso and I talked about this on AFR. So Baseball America today released their top 100 prospects for 2024.
Yeah.
So that's not this coming draft. This is going
to be 2023
following summer draft. Okay.
So Dylan Cruz not even in this.
Correct.
Yeah.
This is the following summer.
Trey Morgan not in this.
Number 2.
Thatcher Hurd.
Number 4 is Connor Griffin. That's an LSU commit, who from Mississippi, who probably is going to end up as the number 1 prospect in the class.
So is he going to leave? Is he going to leave? Is he going to?
I know it sounds stupid. They have a chance to get that kid to campus.
Cool.
I get it. I get what everybody says. I'm just telling you,
bro. I understand wanting to go to college in the NIL era instead of going and when you get to play on TV on SEC Network and
that is definitely
ESPN. Like, I understand wanting to do that over. Hey, I want to go fucking ride buses and play minor league baseball.
And he, by the way,
but the money would be massively different, obviously, with a guy like him.
And by the way, he's reclassified, so he's going to finish school.
Oh, nice.
After his third year of high school, so he's actually like 15 years old.
So that's what I'm saying. That would like kind of push him towards college, I would think, bro.
I'm just telling you, it's not an impossibility. I understand what everybody says, the money. I get it.
KG.
I get it.
Connor Griffin, KG. That's a tight fucking nickname, dude.
Number 6 is Derek Serial, who is out of California. He's an LSU commit as well.
Hey, what's his name? Cinnamon Toast?
It's Curiel, but he says Serial.
Yeah, Cinnamon Toast Serial.
Yep, you got it.
You know,
Number 8 is Tommy White.
I got it.
Number 8 is Tommy White.
Of course.
So 4 of the top 8 are either LSU players or commits.
Tommy fucking tanks.
And then you've also got 31. It's Paxton Kling, who is going to start in right field for LSU, and he'll be a draft eligible sophomore next year. And then 36 is Gavin Guidry, who will also be a draft eligible sophomore next year. So. And both of those guys are going to end up. Both those guys are going to start this year. Gavin Guidry is ultimately going to be your starting second baseman this year, and Kling is going to start, I think, in right field.
I can't wait.
They're loaded, bro. It's just
I'm so fucking excited.
I know we've talked so much about the talent, and you see all the rankings and the superlatives. But things like that really put into perspective. It really is an embarrassment of riches, man. There's just never been an LSU team like this. There just hasn't been.
The moment for me was after all these signing and transfers were officially done. And, because, look, bro, I don't even follow football recruiting. You know I don't fucking follow baseball recruiting. So it was this wonderful thing where, like, I'm Googling each name. And I'm like, oh, fuck, he's ranked number 1 in the state. And then I'm Googling the next name. Oh, wow, he's the number 1 righty in the state. Oh, look at this. Oh, he's the number 1 third baseman in the state. Like, it was like they had gathered from all over the country only the top players at their respective positions. It was unreal. It was unreal. Look. And then think about this. Today we were also talking about how, maybe my hypothesis, Matt, you know way better than I would, is that one of the driving forces behind this uber concentration of power in the SEC, right? 7 of the top 10, 9 to the top 25, all that. Like Arkansas is what, the 7th ranked team in the SEC, and they're number 10 in the country.
Yeah, it's wild.
So I was saying that, look, I think a lot of that probably has to do with stuff like the SEC Network, right? Where all of a sudden all the games are on television. The average fan is able to just watch. You don't have to go to the game. Game starts to grow. There's more economic and emotional investment. Now you're in the NIL area, which only doubles down on all of that. And, I forgot where I was going with this, but do you, like, when you look at the concentration of power right now that's going, this is what it was, is that it kind of feels like other areas of the country are being edged out of the game. Similar to football, but to a much crazier degree. And you go back and you look back, like, okay, what teams from out west won it recently or threatened recently? And one of the last teams to do it was Arizona and Jay Johnson, right? They lost in the championship, right? They're very close
to Coastal Carolina in
2016. So an insane outlier year to begin with. But if you look after that, it's a lot of SEC dominance. So I'm thinking, okay, if Jay Johnson could do that with Arizona, and now you put him at the head of this team, I mean, it all just becomes very incredible. But do you agree with that? Why would you say that? The SEC is so far ahead of the game in baseball right now.
So 40 years ago, before Skip Bertman came to LSU, that was the Pac-12. I mean, it was, it was Arizona State.
Yeah.
It was Texas wasn't the Pac-12, but it was West. It was Southwest is where you had the concentration of great baseball teams. The college baseball is already regional because of the weather. I mean, look at what's going to happen this weekend. Western Michigan's coming here, and this will be the first time they play outside.
Yeah, well, that's so. We made a joke this morning. It is officially they've been practicing inside season. Yeah. This is where you constantly hear about. This is their first time outdoors.
But that's why. So I remember, like, here's another sport example. You remember Tessa Teachman?
No, I do not.
So Tessa Teachman was like this golf prodigy. She played collegiately at LSU. I don't know if Tessa's playing professionally right now, but she was from somewhere in the Midwest, and her dad, like, they knew she was a prodigy. She had to go somewhere where she could play year-round. So they moved here so she could play year-round.
Yeah.
So, like, the SEC, really the region, the Southeast, has a geographical advantage because you don't deal with winter. Like, you can play baseball year-round.
Yeah.
So that's one reason. Two,
which the West would have also had back in the day, obviously.
But then what happened is Skip Bertman happened. And this isn't just like a...
So I guess that's the big thing that I'm ignoring in this.
This isn't like a Homer hat tip. Like, this is legitimately what happened. Skip came to LSU, and there were other programs that, in like Mississippi State, Ron Polk at Mississippi State had a winning program.
Yeah.
But like the gigantic difference was Skip came here and showed you could make money in baseball. And so other programs in the SEC started investing resources in baseball. They started, like, look at the league in the last decade. Like, Bama just
no, I know that, but I'm saying, so
Florida
how much of that, like that recent bump, how much? I mean, I know Skip kickstarted it,
but that was all a run up to.
Yeah. But how much do you think the SC Network like accelerated all of this? I guess the only reason why I feel so strongly about this is I grew up in Georgia. Okay, I grew up an LSU fan. I never got to watch a single LSU baseball game in the 90s. Like, it just wasn't in. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It was just hard to find.
Look, my Nike notification.
Okay, bitch, relax. It was hard to find, and so like for me,
look at those J's, bro. Those are tight.
That's cool, man.
They look like.
What are you, a fucking Florida Gator?
I'd say that's the thing I hate.
I mean,
that's the one thing about shoes now. When I'm looking at it, you see color schemes. Like, there was some gorgeous, like, wolf gray and red ones. I'm like, and people just go, "Oh, that's Ohio State."
Ohio State. Yeah.
But they're gorgeous. But anyway, I knew you'd look at that and go, "Oh, Florida."
I mean, those look fucking Florida, dude. I don't know what to tell you, bro.
I love them. They look great.
Okay, so get them then. Don't be a bitch.
I'm not buying them. $125 for mids? Nah, bro.
Anyway,
so you're
I guess
saying,
all I'm saying
you grew
is
up in Georgia, you never watched LSU baseball.
Whatever. For me and my deepening fanhood over these past 10 years, right, 2013 to now, so much of it has been because of the SEC Network and the ability to watch every game and the ability to watch it with friends, watch it with family, watch it on my phone, watch it on my television, watch it on my computer if I'm trapped. Like, just literally being able to watch wherever I wanted to, and it's so much fun. Like, okay, I love to go visit our best friends, the Blackwells, up in West Monroe. You know what's fucking awesome during baseball season? Going up there, kids running all around acting a fool, and just drinking some Bud Lights, or Coors Lights, drinking some Coors Lights, cold domestics, watching some baseball, dude. By the way, I really don't fuck with Bud Light anymore. I fuck with Coors Light only. Ride the silver bullet, bitch.
The SEC Network, the digital distribution has definitely.
That's what I mean. I'm sorry. I don't mean I don't mean the cable SEC Network. As much as I mean I can watch. Everybody can watch every game now.
That's absolutely helped grow the game. There's not even a question. But I think that's helped grow all of college baseball, which is what I remember.
And like college softball and ball. I guess growing up, everybody's benefited.
The year that. The first year ESPN decided, what was ESPN's app called? Like, what was their streaming?
The Watch ESPN app?
I think it was
called the Watch ESPN app. Yeah.
The first year they decided they were going to broadcast every regional, there was a fucking melt here. And I think it was 2014. I'm not positive, but I think it was 2014. Because people here had been used to getting every LSU game forever. If it was CST, if it was Ronnie would do Jumbo Sports, if ESPN.
Oh, so there was like an entire cottage industry around broadcasting LSU locally.
Yes, and so when.
So I'm coming from an outsider perspective.
Well, it makes sense. For 2014 was the SEC Network year, so it does make sense. But it was interesting because when that happened, people then had to go find out how to stream an LSU baseball game.
I do remember there being a lot of drama over that.
Melt over that. And ultimately, like, it's so weird because the rest of the college baseball world benefited because for the first time they were able to see their teams, but LSU was like, well, you just made it 15 times harder for me to watch my team.
That's kind of funny.
So that just shows how far ahead LSU was. But again, that's all Skip's legacy.
Also,
that's all rooted in that.
No, I agree. that's the source catalyst, right? So what's fascinating to me, though, right now, dude, is that you already are so ahead of the curve. The growth of the game, the economic and emotional buy-in is higher than it's ever been at more schools than it's ever been in the SEC. And now you can pay the players in a sport where the players don't get scholarships. So your dollar goes a lot fucking farther. You want to pay, what, $500,000 for one football player, or pay 10 badass baseball players $50,000 a piece? Like the ability for the SEC to become a almost premier farm league it's kind of insane to think about. Like, I just don't see how the rest of college baseball possibly keeps up. I feel like the Wild West of NIL is going to lead to football. But to a lesser extent, though, because there's less national buy-in in football. And like you said, like in football, the Big Ten is not geographically fucked when it comes to being great at the sport. Whereas in baseball, it's obviously tougher, like we just kind of discussed. So,
I mean, obviously there's geographical advantages, meaning in the Southeast is the only region of the country where you don't have major metropolitan areas. So the college towns rule.
Also, you don't have proteins. So that's my point.
That's the point. There's no proteins. Whereas everywhere else, it's all centered around their proteins. Like, this is literally the only region of the country where college sports are more popular than pro sports.
Yes. And at the same time, there is already a further concentration of power, emotion, and money in baseball here, even more so than football here relative to their peers.
Yeah.
And so baseball's becoming a super league. And it's going to be awesome because you know what?
It already is.
Exactly. I don't want I don't need more teams. I'm getting old. I like things that are easy to digest. Give me 16 teams, once Texas and Oklahoma join. Give me 16 great teams, and I can live with that. Is it going to be 30 SEC games? We talk about it in football time. What does baseball scheduling look like in a
You can't change it because you don't have enough weekends.
Okay. So we'll still be 30 games, 10 series.
But remember, like you're playing 10 weekends.
Yeah.
So it's not as giant a disparity as in football when you're playing 8 conference games right now, or what we all hope will be 9.
It has to be a 9-6-3. If it is on a 9 with 3 permanent opponent model, then politics and it has ruined it.
No, the only question is what do you think the permanents will be?
Yeah.
Like, I've done this exercise.
I love
before.
the Andy Staples piece that he wrote recently, which was basically
I didn't see it. What did he do?
Just saying that, look, there are a lot of core rivalries that if you don't keep, you're a fucking idiot, right? Like, if you make this conference and you don't schedule Texas and Texas A&M, you're an idiot. If you don't schedule, if you don't keep Auburn, Georgia alive. Now, he actually says Alabama, LSU, which a lot of people don't give as much credence to.
I don't think that's happening.
But he hits on a lot of the classics, right? And his point is basically there's enough legendary rivalries where the 3 permanent opponent makes sense, and then at the ones that aren't those legendary rivalries, be flexible. If a matchup isn't working out, well, fuck it, dude. You're trying to impress your TV partners. Change the schedule that year to make a better one. Be like the NFL. Like, be willing to customize your schedule around the edges to just create the best schedule each year. But you have to maintain the rhythm of playing every team.
But remember
but that happens no matter what because you're rotating through.
Like, who you're playing every year in the NFL.
Yeah, for sure. So maybe there is a direct mathematical system that you can figure out where, like, okay, you finish second in the NFC South, you'll play the second place teams from the AFC or whatever. Like, yeah, I feel on that. Maybe there's a math out there that I'm not realizing. But my point is, it's a TV product, and the perfect solution is right there in front of you. It's 9 conference games. It's 3 permanent opponents. You play everybody twice in 4 years, and you can even massage the edges to create more interesting matchups. Like, it just makes all the sense in the world. If, like, Mississippi State being worried about getting bowl eligible doesn't hold a candle to that. I agree with Andy. Kentucky trying to maintain their Middle Tennessee rent-to-win doesn't hold a candle to that.
It does to those programs, though.
Yeah, but those programs are getting swallowed, Matt. It is the age of money. TV contracts. You know this. What the fuck are you talking about? You think Greg Sankey's going to you think the fucking master, the shadow lord that is Greg Sankey is going to let Mark Stoops and Will Arnett and Eli Drinkwitz drive the conference away from the best TV schedule?
I think Will Arnett was a Saturday Night Live guy.
Zach Arnett. yeah. Will Arnett's great. I love Will Arnett. Will Arnett is, that's like Arrested Development, Batman and Lego movies.
I'm thinking of Will Arnett?
Yeah. Oh, wait.
Will.
Let's make sure it's who I'm thinking of. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's the Arrested Development guy.
You called him Will Arnett.
Whatever. The point is, you're not going to let Arnett and Drinkwitz and fucking Mark Stoops hold the conference hostage. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
I didn't say they're holding the conference hostage.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying, though. I'm not saying you're saying that. I know you're like offering up like a devil's advocate opinion. What I'm telling you is it may matter to them, but it doesn't fucking matter. It matters to them, but it doesn't fucking matter to anybody else.
It does matter to the league if you're going to maintain bowl tie-ins and you need your bowl-eligible teams, because if you get 10 or 11, whatever, 12 bowl tie-ins, that's all revenue. I mean, that's basically like salary, man. It's guaranteed revenue when you're getting your bowl payouts. So
you know what else is guaranteed revenue? TV contracts that they're currently attempting to try to get Disney to renegotiate in good faith. You know how you create good faith? You say, hey, we're going to give you a product.
You know how you create good faith? You add Texas and Oklahoma.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. But then you also say, we're going to go to 9 conference games. Like, fuck that. Are you kidding me?
There's no way. The only way they were going to avoid non-conference games, or nine conference games, was if the college football playoff didn't expand. Because
fair.
If you not like this is we had this conversation immediately with Sankey. And he wouldn't go completely on the record with this, but the bottom line is if you go to a 9th conference game, you are guaranteeing half of your league another loss.
Yeah.
You add a conference game, you're guaranteeing.
But in a 12-team playoff, like to your point, you're already guaranteed basically 3 teams in and probably 4 every year.
But if they had stayed at 4, if they didn't expand the playoff, in guaranteeing half your team a loss, you lessen your possibility of getting.
No, that's a great point. You're right. So everything I'm saying doesn't apply if you don't expand, but you are. So it is what it is.
But the playoff is expanded. And the other
but my point is they needed to like make this fucking choice though, because Greg Sankey already applied the pressure. He already said we prefer 9 games, and the outside boundary of when we need it done are the spring meetings.
It's going to happen.
Like, we need it done so we can go ahead and get everything moved around to where we need it.
All right, so who do you think will be LSU's 3?
Texas A&M's definitely going to be in there, 100%. How ironic is it that I think that Texas A&M is maybe the only 100%? Because then we get to Ole Miss, to be your traditional rival. Mississippi State, the teams that you played the most. Like LSU and Mississippi State have played an absurd amount of times. LSU Alabama has been the most attractive game.
I don't think LSU Alabama happens.
I don't think so either. I think the fact that Alabama has Tennessee and Auburn stops LSU Alabama from happening.
And LSU Auburn's not going to happen. Because Auburn's got Bama and Georgia.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think LSU Florida happens either. Because Florida's got Georgia.
Well, everybody kind of wants out of that. Like, I fucking hate Florida and I love playing Florida, but it's kind of one of those like, hey, fuck you, man. Hold me back, bro. like both people hate each other, but it's like, hey, if we could like stop, like, you know, like we could maybe just chill for a little bit. Florida, you go your way, I'll go our way. Dude, no, like now's the time to keep Florida because they're going down. But a
weird thing from the Florida perspective is they don't want to get rid of the LSU game, because this is like a little known fact, and I promise this isn't me just like swiping Florida. I'm telling you, like, Florida doesn't sell out games. They sell out the LSU game.
Really?
Yeah. Florida doesn't sell out football games. So, like, it's a big deal when LSU rolls into town. I mean, it's
which
a big
is so crazy because every time I went to the Swamp, it was now granted it was 2 night games, but it was fucking insanity
because it was the LSU game.
Craziest game, the crazy environments I've ever played in my life.
But that's what I'm telling you. It was the LSU game.
That's fucking wild. Then.
It's like they don't. Over the last 20 years, they sell out the LSU game. They don't, and their other big game is Georgia, which is a neutral site.
Which, if we're being honest, LSU's heading that way. What games does LSU sell out at home? Florida.
No, yeah. Maybe
Alabama.
But you might get Auburn, Texas A&M.
No, I'll give Auburn A&M. So you have 4. But even Mississippi State this last year is pretty fucking sad.
Yeah. That's just the nature. It's
the nature of the beast, dude. It's TV and everything. I get it. It is what it is. But I will miss Florida, but I don't think it happens. I agree with you. So we all agree that A&M, like A&M's fascinating to me because normally when you try to force something down somebody's throat, it doesn't work. But there was a special alchemy at play when it came to LSU and A&M. Maybe it's like the fact that Houston is the largest LSU alumni base, so there's a lot of crossover there. I know in the past, right, maybe in the late 80s, early 90s, didn't they play? And they were maybe rivals, LSU and A&M?
Yeah, so they had like a 10-year series.
So they had some past.
It ended bitterly because LSU was getting the shit kicked out of them every year, and LSU wanted out of it.
Okay. So you kind of went limping away.
Yes.
Your largest fan base is there. The couple times you clashed, it was getting like it was a corporately manufactured event that the people actually bought into, which is hard to do, right? It's like the corporation creating a new pop star, and you should doubt it, but god damn, it's like when Drake became famous over being the Jimmy Wheelchair Kid from Degrassi. You're like, god damn, this all feels a little weird, but you know what? That's good music. I mean, I'm not a big Drake fan, but I feel like the analogy probably plays. Because to LSU A&M is good music. And so LSU and A&M feels like a guarantee. And after that, I think it's a mixture of one of the Mississippi schools, either Mississippi State or Ole Miss, and the third's a wild card. I've seen Oklahoma in there. I've seen Alabama in there.
I think it's Texas A&M and the two Mississippi schools. And
I would love to get both Mississippi schools, but that feels a little generous.
So the one thing that I think so I did the exercise where I put the chart and filled out, column, the 16 teams, and then 1, 2, and 3, and started.
Oh, you did it. I haven't sat down and done it yet.
And started with what you know.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Alabama's going to get Auburn and Tennessee.
Yes.
And Georgia's going to get
Florida and Auburn.
And Auburn's going to get Bama and Georgia. And Mississippi State and Ole Miss are going to get each other. And
Arkansas and Texas.
So here's
Arkansas
the thing.
and A&M as well. Is Arkansas get A&M and Texas automatically?
Here's the thing that I think, like what you just said, you think is a given, that in the conversations, I'm not saying this is a fact. I'm just saying this is not completely done. I don't think you're going to get Texas and Texas A&M every year. I'm not saying that's completely done, but the thing that the league tries to do,
everything's you know what they say, Matt. Everything's bigger in Texas, even the cowardice. That's pathetic.
They try to.
That tells me that those schools don't want to play each other every year. That's pathetic.
They try to find. I think the SEC tries to find middle ground when and where they can. And from an LSU fan's perspective, I know that probably sounds ludicrous because many LSU fans feel like they've gotten the short end of the scheduling stick for a lot of years, which I understand, and there's an argument for. But I think A&M, in separating from the Big 12, didn't want. They were trying to get out of Texas' shadow to carve their own path. It's why they came to the SEC.
Yeah,
and they were fine. I'll give them credit for as much as we clown A&M. They were willing to walk away from the thing that's their fucking fight song is about this school. Their whole thing is TU. It's Saw Varsity's Horns Off. It's all about the whole fucking school. Do you realize Bevo is named because of this rivalry? Some
then
Aggies.
We got to play it. We got to fucking play it. What are we talking about?
I get it.
What do the TV? What do the ESPN execs say when they're like, "Hey, we don't want to play this game, man"?
It's not that you're not going to play it.
Texas.
You would just
play one every fucking 2 years. Fuck that shit.
I get it, but what I'm saying is,
I don't know why the goddamn Poos got me fired up, dude. This thing is crazy. I've never had a drink like this.
And I just want to reiterate, I'm not saying this is done. I'm just telling you there is. I know this for a fact that there is a sentiment from the A&M side that they don't want to play the game every year.
No, I know there is from the A&M side. What I'm saying is, A&M, you have brought nothing to the conference, okay?
They brought a fuckload of money.
Okay. You have brought money, and I love the rivalry, so that's fair. I guess I just mean in terms of, you haven't brought any banners, you haven't won anything, you haven't done anything impactful in the conference, and I'm sorry, son, we need you to play Texas, okay?
But the flip side
I talked to Mickey. Oh, you think you're not going to play Texas, huh? Oh, well, that's funny, because I think I got different ideas. Hey, you're going to play Texas, Jimbo, or I'm going to fuck you up the ass. There's no fucking way. Matt, I'm about to go to Disney know that I am going to be bent over and pillaged.
Yes.
My lands are going to be salted. All of my wives and children are going to be taken from me. I'm going to be economically destitute. But the point is, I do it because I accept that the mouse always wins. I would be flabbergasted if Texas A&M and Texas had enough power where they could avoid each other in this restructure. And maybe I'm coming to this because I agree so much with Andy Staples' assessment, and that's kind of like the crux of his assessment. It's like if you create and maybe he's actually actively fighting against information that he's hearing, right?
Maybe so.
Because like if he is saying like if you have this conference and you don't make them play with each other,
it's probably true.
We doing?
Like if I know that, Andy knows that. So it's like, I mean, he's way more
connected for sure. Yes, yeah.
But so there's a very real possibility. So I'm just saying that there is a model that works where
then again, Texas does have to play Oklahoma.
Plays Oklahoma and Arkansas, and you rekindle their Big 12 and Southwest Conference shit, and that's the thing. I mean, and then the other way it works too is then like you look at some of the current, right, like Ole Miss would still get Vandy, Mississippi State would still get Kentucky. There's some of those like Arkansas would get Missouri. So you have some of those that would from your current
Arkansas needs Missouri. Give it to them.
Arkansas don't want Missouri. That's the fucked up thing about that.
What do you mean?
Like Arkansas resents Missouri.
Why?
This is the most fucked up thing. So for years, I know you love the Golden Boot, but LSU has resented the Arkansas thing forever, right?
What?
You're fucking with me.
No, I'm not fucking with you. I think LSU should be, now that we've talked it out, I think LSU should be A&M, a Mississippi school in Arkansas to preserve the boot.
Okay, so LSU fans have resented forever that when Arkansas came into the league and they changed the scheduling structure, LSU got saddled with the new kid. No, I literally didn't know this because you have to understand, my LSU fanhood comes to consciousness in like 1999. Okay, all right. So the league. I'll explain that.
The only game that I grew up going to, I would come to Thanksgiving here every year, right?
So you go to Arkansas.
So I could only go every other year when the game would be in Tiger Stadium. I remember crying and yelling at my father because at the game with, who was it, Randall Gay, where they gave him the big touchdown drive late or whatever in the back of the end zone. Maybe it was blue.
Bro, you're talking about the Miracle on Markham in 02?
Yes, the Miracle on Markham in 02.
I was 10 feet from that fucking.
Yes, okay, exactly.
It was Corey Birmingham. I was 10 feet from him. I was literally in the first row at the goal line.
Me and my grandpa were going crazy when LSU scored what we thought was to win the game, and my dad was like, "Oh no, dude, it's not over yet. Just wait." And then they scored, and I got so furious at him. I yelled at him, "This is your fault, man!" And I started crying, and I ran upstairs and locked myself in the room.
Matt Jones threw like 3 completions that day, and 2 of them were on the final drive of the game.
I have nightmares about Matt Jones falling forward for like 8 yards on options. He'd be at the line of scrimmage and fall forward and be like, "Oh, that's an 8-yard gain."
He did a lot of blow, too.
He did, dude. But he was fast, and he had a huge...
Okay, we have like 2 minutes. Do you want me to explain the Arkansas thing?
Yeah, I guess so. I love Arkansas, though, but go ahead.
I'll do it really quickly because there's probably some younger people here watching as well that don't know this. So in 1992, Arkansas and South Carolina came into the league. The league expanded. LSU got stuck with the Friday after Thanksgiving, a 1:30 game with Arkansas because they tried to manufacture a rivalry.
Oh, like A&M.
So,
like how they did with A&M later on, I mean.
Wait, hold on. So later on, the boot came along, and it became this thing that LSU fans resented forever. It's like, why do we have to play at 1:30? Why do we have to play on a Friday? Like, we don't care about this. So LSU fans came to resent this, but Arkansas latched onto it because it was their thing that they had as they came into the league.
Yeah, it's fucking dope.
Then they came the boot and all this stuff, and that's why, ultimately, LSU got away from it because they bitched and bitched and bitched about it forever. And finally, when Missouri came into the league, they said, okay, Arkansas, you get Missouri now, and y'all are going to play at 1:30 on Friday. We're going to create the Battle Line Trophy, and you're going to play each other. Well, to Missouri, they fucking love that game, and Arkansas resents it. So it's this weird, ironic thing. Well, I guess it's not ironic, but it's...
No, but it's a circle of life sort of thing.
So, like, Arkansas now is dealing with the same thing LSU fans did when they came into the league. And so the...
It makes me feel old, man. Makes me feel like the world is passing me by a little bit.
But LSU had 50 years in the conference already at the time they got saddled with Arkansas. Yeah. And Arkansas has been in the league for a blink, man, relatively. So that's...
I know, man. I just love that game so much, man.
I know you do. But most LSU fans don't give a shit about Arkansas. It's just another game on the schedule. And it was always annoying because Arkansas cared so fucking much.
That was an incredible cocktail, by the way. That was unbelievable.
All right, Red Oliver Twist.
No, I know that bums me out to hear though a little bit, if I'm being honest, because I really
the spread.
I really love I love that game, and I get it. You know what? But again, what I have been preaching to people is so Matt, I don't know if you call it this. So 2024 is the full reforging of college football, right? Yeah. I'm calling it the 2020 forging. You know, copyrighted, trademarked, so you can't use that. 2020 forging, okay? And I've been telling people in this reforging.
You touch my nipple.
Because I needed to make you vulnerable to accept this point.
I don't care that you touch my nipple. I'm not
in this reforging, we have to be open to change. So if I have to sacrifice my love of the single greatest trophy in college football, a beautiful behemoth, dangerously serrated, geographically accurate metal map of the two states, I will do so. Like, I will make this sacrifice to lead the way like Jesus when he led the way. I will lead, I will lay down, I will sacrifice my own wants to the TV gods, as we all must do, as A&M must do. And play fucking Texas, you play him.
Munch 1127 said, ask Matt, not a question, but every time I hear y'all say Texas A&M, all I hear is Hunt, LOL.
You know what pissed me off? We always call him Texas. Yeah, that was great.
I did not know he had it in him, dude. I did not know he had it in him.
Well, we always call him Texas 8-4.
No, it's so
and they could have been Texas 4-8 if we had it fucked up, dude.
I know. All right, we can do questions or are we done?
No, let's do a couple. We'll do a couple questions. But I'm sorry, y'all. I do love the boot. Dustin Blanchard.
Good convo. Good convo. That was good convo. We're here.
All right, here we go. Ask Scone T. Will this team be improved in the fielding department? Talking about baseball.
Yes.
Yeah.
They will be dramatically better in the outfield.
Jay Johnson has been hyping up Jordan Thompson, too.
Jordan Thompson is it. So Terrio told me, like, Jordan Thompson is a big leaguer. And as much as Terrio is a goof, and I mean, he's one of my best friends in the world, like, the guy did play 8 years of Major League Baseball, played shortstop in the bigs. Like, and he's a phenomenal teacher of the game. Like, he knows it when he sees it, and so I believe him. And, like, the skill set is there. And Terrio even told me, like, with Jordan, he even told me, like, the thing he was doing wrong with his throws, like how he positioned himself behind the ball and his stride wasn't like. He basically said this is what he's doing. So it's a very fixable, it's a correctable thing. So, and the thing we forget is Thompson in the second half of the year was actually phenomenal.
Oh, was he?
He was phenomenal, yes. It was not good early. And then he had some errors in the postseason as well. But
I mean,
for the second half of common play was phenomenal.
Can I offer like a dumb fan standpoint for all the other dumb fans out there? I'm going to say Jay Johnson knows more baseball than me. And I'm not saying that you have to do this every time. But I'm going to say if Jay Johnson is out there telling me that he thinks that Jordan Thompson can be one of the best defensive shortstops in the nation and that he's going to be spectacular, like, I'm going to quell any doubts that I have, okay? And I'm going to start looking forward to him at shortstop. And that's what he told us last week. And I was like, okay, you know what? I
remember also Jacob Berry at third last year was a liability. You just had to get his bat in the lineup. Yeah. Tommy White, like, I'm surprising because
Tommy White actually good at third? I guess I'm guilty of falling into like he's just a masher and like how's he gonna feel the ball?
And well, I mean, typically third base has the lowest fielding percentage on the infield just because it's the hot corner.
Oh, I didn't know that. I always think about you having to have like a rocket arm. Chipper.
But Tommy White is better at third than Jacob Berry was a total liability. Like, Jacob Berry at the next level is a DH or a first baseman. He was just playing third to get him on the field to get his bat in the lineup. Tommy White's is better. And defensively, Paxton Kling is going to be a first rounder. Dylan Cruz is the best player in college baseball. And if it's Pearson or Joe Bear at the other spot, however it goes, Joe Bear's lost like 20 pounds, and so he's actually gotten a little more fleet of foot.
He was already really big last year, so he's probably looking pretty svelte right now.
Yeah, so he's lost some weight. But if a guy's going to mash 20 homers, you have to have his bat in the lineup. So I think that's what they're playing through right now. So
Hashtag,
but yes, I think they'll be better defensively. Yes.
Ask Scone T, what are LSU's baseball's strengths? Wow. I told you, that Poos ain't fucking around. Strengths and weaknesses. I guess the shorter thing is like, what's the weaknesses, right? Because they feel strong everywhere.
This is the most talented team in college baseball. It's why they're the consensus number one team.
Yeah.
They have the most talent they have two guys that are going to battle to go number one overall. I mean, Tommy White, Thatcher Hurd are going to be top 10 picks next year. I mean, you've got like 8 guys that throw 100. It's ridiculous. I mean, they've just never seen a team. So they're if you're asking me about a weakness,
try to create one. Do what Georgia. So I was kind of Georgia fans today because Georgia football is due for the most boring regular season of all time.
Yeah, schedule sucks.
Schedule sucks. They're going to dominate. It's going to be whatever. So
the thing
they're going to be searching for things to bitch about. Right?
They'll have a new quarterback, new OC. So that's going to be interesting to watch.
Yeah, and they'll probably put up numbers, but they'll probably fuck up in the playoff and lose. I already told them Mike Bobo sucks. A big step down. They're going to be awful. I'm just kidding. Mike Bobo's probably going to do all right, but it's because he's the best players, obviously.
With LSU, I would tell you the biggest question I have is, so you have all of this talent. How do you manage all the talent? You're going to have a lot of really talented arms that aren't going to pitch. You're going to have a lot of veteran, talented guys that aren't going to play and hit. So
we've never even talked about Gavin Dugas. I
think Gavin Dugas is going to get the opening day start at second, but ultimately Gavin Guidry is going to win that job. And Gavin Guidry is going to be your starting shortstop next
incredible.
year. So I think you're going to see a rotation at second. You're going to see a rotation at second with Dugas, Guidry, and Ben DePolt, who's the transfer from VCU. But the expectation is Gavin Guidry is going to win that job. Now, he's got to go do it, but he's got to go good.
Ask Scone T, would you take LSU baseball or the field to win it all this year?
The field.
Yeah, you always take that. Questions like this are a bit. If you want to go try hard and just try to get the question right, you play the math, right? So you take the field.
Of course.
But your point is well taken, Randall, in that this is about as good of a year as I can remember, in which you could say LSU will win the Natty and you're not out of pocket. You're not just being a pure homer.
No, for sure. The LSU will be the most talented team in college baseball, but Tennessee was far and away the best team last year.
That's what I'm saying.
Didn't even make it to Omaha.
It's fucking baseball. It can go sideways. It's one of the best parts about the game, especially college baseball.
Real quick, Devin Kelly said you keep saying it's going to be 3 top half, 1 bottom half team. No. It's 3 permanents.
Yeah, excuse
2
me,
top half, 1 bottom. So 3 permanents. 3-6 model. So 3 permanents and 6 rotating.
Oh, is that what they're trying to aim for? 2 top half, 1 bottom? I didn't caught that little distinction. That does make sense, though. That's how you kind of compete.
You're not going to. Bama's not going to get Auburn, Tennessee. LSU.
Auburn is getting fucked in this though, because they're automatically getting Georgia. Bama.
Hey, you want it, bitch. You want it.
And you know what's funny? I brought this up on Snaps the other day, where I was like, God, Auburn's getting fucked, and I was surprised because multiple people were like, no, Auburn wants this. They have a persecution complex. They want to be like, woe is me, the weeping and gnashing of teeth, but we will overcome. The Auburn revival coming in 2023.
I have my graph at home that I filled out, and I'll send it to you, and you can tell me what you think.
Oh, yeah, I would love that. Ask Scone T, will the SEC baseball tournament expand to 2 more teams with UT and OU joining?
Well, everybody should make it.
Just play a full tournament.
Is how it should go. Everybody should make it.
Take away from the regular season and all if you do that?
Like you do in basketball, huh?
Take away from the regular season and all if you do that, or no?
No, it's just what you got to do in baseball. That started because in 2011, LSU was had an RPI of 23 and didn't make regionals because they didn't make the SEC tournament. They were where's my brain? They were.
Are you trying to find their record? Moose or no? Ask Moose, dude.
13 and 7.
Ask Moose, dude.
They were 14. Muse.
2011
LSU. What was their SEC record?
In 2011, baseball?
The team that didn't make.
They didn't make the tournament, so I'm not. They were.
No, but that's why they didn't make. Well, no, they were like.
Missed, were they 14?
They were 14 and 16.
16.
14 and 16. I think it was 14 and 16.
I thought it was like I thought they were worse than that. I thought they were 13 and 17. They were. Here you go. They were 13 and 17.
Damn.
So that's why they didn't.
Moose.
So they were.
Go Steak and eggs is good.
But they were 23rd in the RPI, and they lost like 9 conference games by 1 run. So and so it was like they got hosed because they didn't make the SEC tournament because the tournament at the time was like the top.
So it behooves the SEC to expand the tournament to all teams.
So
that's what you're saying.
So that's what the SEC did when they expanded it. They were like, well, that's never happening again. We're not never like having someone miss regionals because they didn't make our bullshit tournament.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Ask Scone T, what do you think about LSU basketball? I don't.
Dude, you want to know what's been
my new defense mechanism, Matt, when people try to clown me in the group text, like my friends with the other SEC schools, is just to act like men's basketball is like lacrosse or something. I'm like, hold up. Like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Like, we play men's basketball. Like, I know about women's basketball. Fucking badass. I love women's basketball. It's a great sport. Do men play basketball in the SEC? Oh, okay. Okay, I just ignore it. What were you going to say?
I don't know. Doesn't matter.
No, what were you going to say about LSU basketball?
I don't remember. It doesn't. It clearly doesn't matter.
Do you think about LSU basketball? Clearly not.
Oh, no. You know what I was going to say is the tough part about being on air right now is LSU basketball has been a gigantic zero. Like it gives us nothing. Like
I don't even talk about it. We haven't brought it up in weeks.
You cannot.
We haven't even mentioned it.
You cannot justify talking about the games. You can talk big picture stuff if there's an angle, but what more do you say?
But the angle's just like it's like they've reached the crazy point, Matt, or the bad point. It's not crazy because it happens quite often. Being awful is good for us on the media side to an extent. But remaining awful and you completely disappear, right? Like, we all love a good 5-5 2020 SEC football panic, right? That drives everybody's tuning in, everybody's mad, everybody's fired up. LSU basketball has fallen into the trap of we just don't care.
Yeah, apathy sucks.
I don't care. Like, I don't give a fuck. You're going to tell me that they lost by 10? Who cares? I move on. I'm worried about the Pelicans, trying to navigate this post-Zion world. I'm worried about LSU baseball about to start. I'm worried about LSU women's basketball trying to compete to make the Final Four. LSU softball start, like literally anything. LSU gym, anything. What time do the Pels play tonight?
9.
Are they 9 games? They're on ESPN or TNT?
I think it's ESPN.
Hell yeah, Bo. Ooh, about to go home and watch. Let's go. Dude, this cocktail kind of fucked me up. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Bro, it took them an hour to make that.
It took me a long time.
I'm not even joking.
I know.
When I got here 20 minutes before you did, Wiggins is like, they've been working on that for like 20 minutes already. It's like a dozen different...
I'm going to have to Uber home. I do not want to leave my car here, but I'm going to have to fucking Uber home now.
Do the right thing. Do the smart thing. That's good.
I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, good.
Figure it out.
All right. Any other questions, or are we done?
No, let's finish.
Did the Pels win tonight?
My bad. I missed. I saw that and I ignored it.
Greg Lehman asked Scone T, do you think this puts more big games in Tiger Stadium with the new scheduling format?
I mean, it should, right? If you had another conference game.
Greg Lehman asked Scone T.
And you'll still probably keep the Power 5, right? You'll have 10 good games compared to 9 good games right now. So, yeah.
So I thought Tommy Boy was going to play first. I think you will see times this year. No, you will see times this year where Tommy White goes to first and Trey Morgan plays in the outfield. Like, you will see Trey Morgan play in the outfield this year at times.
As far as the Pelicans winning, I mean,
but Tommy White's a better third baseman than Jacob Berry was last year. He's like he can hold it down over there.
I'm intrigued to see how. Oh shit, that's right. I forgot it's at LA. Let's fucking go, boys. To the Pelicans win. Of fucking course they win, dude.
No LeBron too.
Fuck the Lakers. Yeah, no shit. He broke the scoring record. He's done, dude. He's fucking chilling. He should be. He's old.
But McCollum and Larry Nance are both questionable too.
I don't like Larry Nance being questionable. Yeah, fuck it. B.I. Dude, B.I. hates the fucking Lakers. Pelicans roll.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it. Okay, I think we're done.
Yeah, we're done. Hey, y'all have a great day. We love you. Matt, have you played Hogwarts Legacy?
I don't know what that is.
It's, so look, I don't know if you're like me. I grew up loving Harry Potter. I don't necessarily love, like, the actual stories of Potter now, but, like,